After nearly 20 months of nonstop rugby, Ardie Savea finally stepped away from the game, but the break did something unexpected. Instead of losing his hunger, it made him want rugby even more. Now, the All Blacks captain is back, refreshed, focused, and ready to enter one of the most intense environments in world rugby. The stage is South Africa, and the occasion is rugby's greatest rivalry. For Savea, this return could not come at a more important moment. While his teammates were already beginning the tour, he was taking a carefully planned break after an exhausting period that had stretched from early 2025 into the middle of 2026. He had played for Kobelco Kobe Steelers, represented the All Blacks, traveled across countries, trained constantly, and carried the responsibility that comes with being one of New Zealand's most important players. Eventually, even a world-class athlete needs time to reset. That is exactly what Savea did. He returned home at the end of June and spent his time away from rugby reconnecting with his family. He continued training, kept himself physically prepared, but gave his mind something it desperately needed: distance from the pressure of professional sport. For Savea, being at home was not simply about resting. It was about being present as a father and husband, enjoying normal moments away from stadiums, cameras, and constant competition. And that mental reset may prove to be just as valuable as the physical recovery. Because something happened while he was watching his teammates begin the tour. Instead of feeling comfortable on the sidelines, Savea started feeling impatient to get back. The All Blacks opened their tour with a convincing 38-21 victory over the Stormers in Cape Town, and Savea watched the match from home. But seeing the team in action only increased his desire to return. He had what he called itchy feet. In other words, the competitor inside him was ready to go again. And now he has the chance. But Savea knows that returning to rugby is one thing. Returning to the South African battlefield is something completely different. The All Blacks are heading into an environment where physicality, pressure, and discipline can decide everything. South African rugby is famous for its powerful forward play, dominant set-piece, and relentless attacking style. The Springboks are comfortable turning matches into physical contests, and they can put enormous pressure on opponents through their maul and direct running. Savea understands that no training session can completely recreate that experience. You can run, lift weights, practice skills, and prepare tactically, but nothing truly prepares you for the moment when the match begins and the physical battle becomes real. That is why the return of Savea could be so important for the All Blacks. He brings experience, leadership, and energy, but perhaps most importantly, he is returning with a fresh mind. There is a huge difference between playing because your schedule demands it and playing because you genuinely miss the competition. Savea appears to be in the second category now. His time away has reminded him why he loves the game. And when a player returns with that kind of hunger, opponents have to take notice. The challenge waiting in South Africa will be enormous. The Springboks know how to make opponents uncomfortable. They understand how to build pressure, how to attack through the middle, and how to turn set-piece opportunities into momentum. For the All Blacks, the answer will require composure and accuracy. They cannot afford to lose concentration. They cannot afford to give away easy opportunities. And they will need their leaders to step forward when the pressure rises. That is where Savea comes in. As captain, his influence goes beyond what appears on the statistics sheet. He can lift teammates, bring energy to difficult moments, and help the team remain connected when the match starts moving at a furious pace. His return also adds another fascinating element to the rivalry. The All Blacks and Springboks are not simply two successful teams. They represent two different rugby cultures, two different approaches, and decades of history. Every meeting carries expectation. Every battle has an edge. And when the match is played in South Africa, the challenge becomes even greater. For Savea, however, this is exactly where he wants to be. After spending months traveling and playing almost continuously, he could have returned tired, frustrated, or mentally drained. Instead, he returns excited. He watched his teammates from a distance, and instead of enjoying the comfort of being away from the pressure, he found himself wanting to be back in the middle of it. That could be the biggest story of all. The break did not weaken his competitive fire. It reignited it. Before stepping away, Savea had already shown his importance to the All Blacks during their tests against France, Italy and Ireland. Now he returns to a tour where the margins will be even smaller and the pressure even greater. His body feels good, his mind feels refreshed, and his desire to compete is clearly back. But the biggest test is still waiting. Ellis Park is not simply another rugby stadium. It is an environment where the atmosphere can become overwhelming, where every mistake can feel enormous, and where the physical contest can test every player on the field. Savea knows that. He knows the Springboks will bring intensity. He knows the crowd will be loud. He knows the match could become a battle of patience, strength and nerve. But he also knows that this is what international rugby is all about. The captain has had his time away. He has spent time with his family. He has trained, recovered and reset his mind. Now he is ready to return to the game that has demanded so much from him. And perhaps the most exciting part is that he is not returning with the weight of exhaustion. He is returning with hunger. The All Blacks have already started their journey, but with Ardie Savea back in the group, another chapter is about to begin. The Springboks will be waiting. South Africa will bring the physical battle. Ellis Park will bring the pressure. And Savea will bring something the All Blacks desperately need: fresh energy and a captain who genuinely cannot wait to play again. After 20 months of non-stop rugby, the break finally gave him a chance to breathe. Now the breath is over. The boots are ready. The captain is ready. And rugby's greatest rivalry is about to get even more intense.